Travis Wayne Goodsell. Genesis chapter 11. And the whole earth was of one language, and of one speech. And it came to pass that as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and tower, which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one. We are bored. And they have all one language. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. There's some problems with the Hebrew that you do not see here because of the translators. A literal translation would be found a plain in the earth of Shinar, not land. Land is a different word than earth, and soil is different from land and earth. Hebrew is much simpler than English. But you'll notice there's some errors in regards to history and science, right? All of you are aware of the errors, right? They came from the east to build Babylon, the Temple of Marduk. Yeah, there's some errors if that's what you're assuming. Which means Persia? They came from Persia? But wait a minute. Noah landed on Mount Ararat of Turkey. Right? So how did Turkey then have them go all the way to Persia? So that they can then come east to the earth of Shinar and build the Tower of Babylon, the Temple of Marduk. And then you've got dating problems, not sexual dating, actual time dating, as Babylon did not even come into existence until after 700 BCE, with the 600 BCE time frame when they came and conquered Jerusalem. So, what's going on? But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about how the English language sucks big time. many errors in our English language that have been perpetually made worse over time. And this has caused confusion in the language. And so instead of giving you multiple examples, as I helped illustrate some of them for you, as I emphasized ed, as we simplify it to and so the T and the D are phonetically the same because we eliminate the pronunciation of ed for the D's, the EDs, as one example. And then there are plurals, which are singular sometimes, and sometimes they're plural, as I was going over egg in my morning shower and shave. Yes, I think about these things while I'm showering and shaving. Seriously, it was like, egg. Egg on my face is not actual egg, and it's can be singular for one egg on my face, or two eggs or multiple eggs in the plural, but I'm using the singular egg. And then an egg carton is more complicated because an egg carton is a carton for multiple eggs, not just one. So is it supposed to be eggs carton? But because of our language, we tend to abbreviate our sentences, so we remove a whole bunch of unnecessary words, so we think, and make it more complicated for those trying to learn English. And it's technically a carton designed for the storage of eggs that we've simplified to egg carton. And then it's made worse in our language as we have texting with all of the anachronisms, or not anachronisms, acronyms. Anachronisms are different, and those cause confusion with screwing up stories that we're trying to pass off as history. And so when I do my videos and say I'm Mormon, Mormons all get angry and upset. No, you're not. You're evil. You're an apostate. You're anti-Mormon. You're of the devil. You're Korah, right? This is because of the confusion of our English language. Mormons do not accept me as Mormon, one of them, born and raised. Even though I'm born and raised Mormon, born in the covenant, to two parents who both serve missions and were born in the covenant themselves. And the reason why is for hate, because if they accept me as Mormon, then they can't get upset when I tell them that Joseph Smith is true, that the Book of Mormon is true. That Joseph Smith is a translator. Right? And so Mormons therefore have to treat me as the enemy and manipulate our English language to that end. Because the reality is too much for them to handle. Because it means that the prophets of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints have been lying to us. And thus, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is not true. If Joseph Smith is true, as I say, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is false. If the Book of Mormon is true, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is false. If Joseph Smith is a translator, the prophets of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are not true prophets. And that is confusing if you've not been watching my videos. See, Joseph Smith history, not a real history. It's apocalyptic literature. It's code. And so even ex-Mormons are confused. I've had ex-Mormons over the years come attacking me because I'm defending Joseph Smith. And they think they got me because they learned from hearsay about Joseph Smith being a polygamist or a failed translator or a robber and a thief and a murderer, blah, blah, blah. Polygamist, rapist of children. Yeah, those are all, I've dispelled all those. I've corrected the record, and Mormons are mad. Why are you mad? He's not a child molester, a rapist. What was wrong with you? Oh, but he's a prophet of God. It's okay for him to rape children. Because that's what you're doing by attacking me. Mormons, ex-Mormons, you're believing incorrect claims of history. But I find it bizarre that ex-Mormons don't catch on. They think it's funny and hilarious to mock Mormons for Joseph using a rock and a hat to translate the Book of Mormon. And all ex-Mormons miss the whole purpose of the Egyptian gold plates. As they go back and forth, mocking the Egyptian gold plates separately from rock and a hat. And partly because of the church finally coming out and confessing, oh yeah, it's our rock and a hat. Here's the rock. Isn't it pretty? This is the rock of Joseph Smith. What? As Mormons are like, what? You never told us about a rock and a hat. Why did you keep that a secret from us all these years and decades? And so originally the mocking was about gold plates and Joseph running through the forest, bopping him on the head. The bunny song. Yeah, 200 pounds. Yeah, he's not running through the forest with gold plates, but clearly it's Egyptian gold plates. And so then you get Mormons who defend the church and Joseph Smith by saying, oh no, they were golden. See, the primary song says golden. We never said gold. Joseph never said, oh, he did? Well, the history of the church had been edited by other people, and they just cut it out. Just stop it. You're making it worse. Literally, you are making it worse. You're digging more holes that you just can't get out of anymore, as you're falling right into the trap of the mocking ex-Mormons and critics of the church. And you don't get it. You think that it's perfectly fine and you're defending the church by going down rabbit holes to take them down rabbit holes. The plain and simple matter is Egyptian gold plates. And so Joseph never talks about his rock and a hat. There's a reason. It's because it's not true history. It's code. And so, yeah, with these other changes to the text and oral tradition changes to the text, you're messing up communication. You're confounding the language. And so, as a translator, what did Joseph Smith translate? No, he didn't translate the Book of Mormon. He didn't even write it. Not even with a rock and a hat. You're not listening. Joseph Smith was assigned, wait a minute, assigned by who? Supernatural beings from the dead that he's communicating with as a witch? Necromancy? No! Those were code. By his father, the Lord of the Manor. The Lord of the Manor. I'm helping you with the code in sections 3 and 10. And so, yes, Joseph Smith was assigned to distract the money man who insisted on being a part of it. He can't be a part of it. He's going to mess everything up and the book won't get published. So, Joseph Jr. was assigned to distract him and make him believe, with the tradition of him working on the farm once, which is why he knew he was a money man, to publish the Book of Mormon about the rock and a hat thing, whereas Joseph purposely kept a sheet between him and Martin Harris so that Martin Harris could not actually see if there were gold plates in Egyptian, because remember, Joseph Smith had to write them down on a parchment, give the parchment to Martin Harris. See, these are the characters. And then Martin Harris then showed how he cannot be trusted and relied on to be in on what's going on, as he ran away to New York, well, the main city. Well, no, New York, because they're in Harmony, north of Pittsburgh, in between Sidney Rigdon in Ohio and the farm where Senior is. You know, right on the path between the two. And so, yeah, he runs off to New York. Are these real characters? Yeah, I cannot read a silk book. Get out of here. And so I purposely manipulated the story so that it conformed to Isaiah. For the code. Not to lie and deceive us. But because of our English language, because a certain church is claiming it's all real history and making Mormons mad when people say, no, this isn't possible. No, that defies logic. It defies science. Oh my God, this is what you're telling people? And you're getting people to join? Who are these people that are joining? See, I was born in the covenant. I've got a pass. Now that I've found out the truth. But yeah, as a kid, I was going, no, there's something weird. No, there's something wrong about that. I don't know. Everybody's telling me to wait till I'm older to figure it out. Or wait till I'm dead, and then I'll be told all things. You know, something's not right. You know. And so, yeah. And so he blew it, giving away the 116 pages of the original manuscript And so Joseph got punished. And so Oliver Cowdery was sent to babysit him at the Whitmer's farm, where again he can't show anybody the gold plates. Wink, wink. So yeah, he was just being babysat. Emma must have known this, because you can't have a wife who just is that submissive. Oh, you have gold plates? Okay, Joseph. Yeah. Oh, but we don't have money for milk? Oh, okay, we'll go without milk. That's okay. You've got 200 pounds of gold. We have no food money for food, but that's okay. Yeah, she had to know. And so, yeah. No, he translated after he learned how to translate. Oh! In 1835, getting the Egyptian papyri, they now have Egyptian. And yet, Joseph describes it as if he'd never seen Egyptian before. Oh, it looks exactly like the Hebrew linear script without the vowel points. Well, so what about the Egyptian gold plates you used to talk about? Not until 1838. Oh, 3 years later. Okay. Now the bigger picture of history is starting to make sense. Because you weren't involved with that, and there were no actual Egyptian treasure plates, were there? So you wouldn't know what Egyptian looks like. Yep. Somebody else had to take over the finishing of the book and rewriting the 116 pages. I was very pissed in section 3 and 10 as you get cast out to the Whitmer home with Oliver Cowdery as the babysitter now. I'm sure Oliver Cowdery was thrilled with this. I've got to babysit him. What are you doing? I'm helping you guys. I didn't mess up. Joseph did. Now I've got to be the babysitter? Man. Well, okay, yeah, that Whitmer girl, she is kind of cute. I'll do it. He married the Whitmer girl later on. The real history is awesome, guys. And the church just doesn't want to tell us. Because the whole church stands or falls on the truth of the history of the Book of Mormon. As I keep going over with you, trying to tell you the Book of Mormon is true. I keep doing precept after precept, prophecy of the latter days after prophecy of the latter days. You know, like the Great and Abominable Church. I've identified the Great and Abominable Church. The Book of Mormon is true. Yep. And so this communication problem is really bugging Mormons, as they are desperately trying to screw up the communication even worse to protect themselves. You know, are Mormons Christian? Hell no! Oh, but the Book of Mormon, Travis, you say it's true. All true believers in Christ are called Christian. Yeah, no. Who's the name of our Christ? Jesus, Travis. It's in the name of our church. And the historical records have been altered to show that Joseph Smith also named him Jesus. What's the meaning of Adam Ondai Almond then? Who's this almond guy? It's code? No, try Jesus's code. Yep. You're changing the definition of Christian to justify gaslighting Christians, because that's what you're doing. When you tell Christians, oh, we're Christian too. Oh, wow, Jesus Trinity of Constantine, right? Huh? Constantine, who's that? Nicene Creed, what's that? You've not read your first vision? I suggest you reread your first vision. I've done the videos if you want to watch those instead. But you can go straight to the text that talks about Egyptian gold plates. Yeah, it's the sun at noonday. Amen. And then it gets even worse when you realize, oh, Moses is our Christ, and Moses talked about a future man-like Moses Christ, and Joseph Smith says that future man-like Moses Christ will be Mormon. Well, that's blasphemy. Only Jesus is the Christ. We're not Christian! Oh my goodness. And so, yeah, those who are Christian or who are Mormon, who believe they're Christian, do not understand other religions that don't believe that. Instead, apocalyptic literature is about a future mortal, even though they give him magical witchcraft powers of supernatural abilities. And thus Braveheart. Oh, you're supposed to be 7 feet tall and shoot lightning out of your arse. He mocks them for the myths that they created about him. And of course, he's racist because of the one time he got pulled over for being drunk and went off on the officer and with his racist rants. And so now everybody wants to ban all his movies because of his actual personality in real life. And that's a whole nother story. You don't punish the movie for the individual. You can fire them from all future stuff, but don't punish them for their past works. Baby Yoda needs to still make money. Despite and she was perfectly fine, correctly talking about the history of Nazi Germany, that the German soldiers and leaders purposely turned the German people against the Jews, against their neighbors. See something, say something. And I know all about that, being the neighborhood watch president here. I personally, single-handedly chased out the thieves in the night by going running in our neighborhood. And so they thought, everything's fine now, Travis is running through the neighborhood. Let's go on to attacking our neighbors. No! You missed the whole point of a neighborhood watch. So yeah, they all turned on each other. Everybody was narking on the others. Oh, they didn't cut their lawn this week. Get them! Burn them! Burn the witch! believe it, And so, yeah, she was correct on what she was talking about, and then she blew it. All she had to do was make that point and then stop talking. Nope, but she kept on tweeting and went on to say that MAGA are the Jews. Oops. Which Disney, if you're not familiar with Disney, oh, Walt Disney. Oh, dear God. So, yeah. So, you can see how Mormons make that same kind of mistake. Everything's fine until they start claiming truths that are not true. History that is not history. And the church, as I've been doing videos, even the 3-hour tour one yesterday, about how the church has removed history from history for a very good reason. Because the Book of Mormon is true. Because Joseph Smith is true. And so, yes, the church has to make Joseph Smith the villain. What? In the first vision, I think it is, or is it with Nephi, who the church said Joseph was wrong? He did not see Nephi. Joseph was wrong. It was Moroni. We're correcting the history. Correcting. Okay, Joseph Smith history. It's in 33. He called me by name and said unto me, he was a messenger sent from the presence of God. And then his name was Nephi, that God had a work for me to do, and that my name should be had for good and evil among all Mormons, around the nations, kindreds, and tongues of Mormons, that it should be both good and evil spoken of among all Mormons. Now, again, the history is true. And then I can go off into Isaiah's prophecy of calling good evil and evil good. And Mormons, they love to retaliate. Oh yeah, you're the one who's... that's not how you argue. You didn't take debate in school, did you? Or did you just get a participation award? You can't run a debate and give out participation grades. You can't do it. You have to be scored for your judging for the class. You can't. There's no way you can get a participation award to pass the class. It's mind-boggling. But I didn't take debate. My dad did. I was out debating him at 8 years old. The power of baptism and the Holy Ghost. There's a whole other topic for you. But I'm going to stop it here before I keep on going any further. So just understand that Mormons, the church, technically, from Brigham Young, purposely altered the language to cause confusion about the Mormons.